To begin, what I like to do is use my frequency separation tool. Let's let that play, and then from there you can start editing. So, simple retouch. Remove like some dust marks, some blemishes, and stuff like that. So this is the way I like to puff my healing brush turn, and depends on the grain of the skin. I'll show you, for example, it's basically going this way. So what I'll do is change the direction to this way, and from there I'll edit like sideways, strokes going down to the side, diagonal, like so. So what we're trying to do is to tune the colors in better so they blend. Alright, keep in mind this is just to get out like rough marks, blemishes, uneven tones, but not to like fully tone the skin. It's just to do as much as you could, but imperfect, perfections, imperfectly perfect perfections, or flaws. And that's a thing. Okay. Blend that in some more. Sketch that. So, like for storytelling photography, what I usually like to do is, let's say it's a series of 5 images, I'll edit them back to back. So these 4 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, are part of this same series. I'll show you guys that when it's done. One of the crazy thing is I did a tutorial on those ones, but it didn't come out the way I wanted to. Not the edit, but the screen recording didn't happen to turn out the way I had planned. So this is a final attempt, and if you're watching, then you know it came out successfully. So let's make this smaller. before, after, before. Not much of a big. Okay, everything else looks. I would move this mark, but it adds character, so I'm gonna leave that right there. And I don't know who's gonna be zooming up in there to look at that either way. So next we're gonna add another layer, and this layer is gonna help us with toning the skin a lot more better. Also like softening it up a bit. So I like to call this like the Photoshop makeup. So I encourage you, if you're trying this technique or may have known of this technique, like I've learned that the more you sample and keep brushing, the better tonal range you get with skin and the better it looks. So sample the hell out of it, because 9 times out of 10, if you use the same color over the whole skin, it's gonna look like a mask. Yeah, we don't need the model to be looking like she wearing a mask. See that? You see what I'm talking about? Like bringing that into that, show the whole thing off. So I need to sample this, sample that, and just keep sampling. We can blend this in, but that's just the way the light is. So let's leave it natural. During the shoot, I added some highlights, glitter highlights to her skin, so it gives me like a better glow. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's zoom out. Before, after, before, after. Okay, I'm gonna rub this part out and do it over again. I'm feeling that too much. Then what I need to do, I still have to do it. I actually wanted to leave it, take those marks, but I'm just gonna move it because I think it's gonna help me with toning this better. Alright, now let's go back to the brush and let's make this smaller. Okay, start from dark, light, right. Wait a second, let's do this over. Need to bring down this opacity. Alright. so what can help me tune this leg a lot more because of the lighting is a bigger brush. So normally I'll do something like this. Just minimize the tonal ranges. That looks a lot better to me. Then finally I will go over like detailed parts of her skin just to move where the brushes went. Like little highlights, I don't want to be affected. Lips. So let's try this right here. Okay. Boom. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Next is, let's move this. Next, what I'm gonna do when I'm satisfied with all of this retouching and skin toning or whatever, just gonna look around on the carpet and stuff for like debris and dirt and clean that up a bit. So that's what I want to do. Next, we're going to save this to a full file. Then we're going to go in Camera Raw. And let's adjust the shadows. Love that right there. So maybe like 5 on clarity. I don't want to overkill it. Contrast. I actually like this look because it brings out the details around here. But I don't want it to be so like bleached out. So what I'm gonna do, keep that to 0, go on adjustment tool, reset this to 0, and then bring my contrast there and just come over. Let's make this a lot bigger. So by me doing this, there's pros and cons to this. So what's actually happening is I'm lightening the background, and in return I'm taking some of the focus off of her. Because So as you can see, the light is on her, so she is the main focus. But because I've brightened up the background, the whole image is now in focus. So I like that. It adds a lot more context to the photo. You can actually tell like this is a wooden window frame versus it just looking like, something you can identify. But I'm gonna leave that like that, and next, let's go to levels and curves. My favorite tool in Photoshop. You basically can do anything with level and curves. The whole difference is it's fully manual. Everything else, exposure, contrast, highlight, whites, clarity, all of those things are just shortcuts to give you the result that level and curves would give you. So I don't want too much exposure. Okay, that looks nice. Let's adjust the reds. When it goes to green, it gives it more like a, I don't know, it's a cringy vibe to me. I like that feel. That's perfect. Next, we're gonna go to green. By me selecting these three, I'm splitting up the different ranges so it's more controlled. I encourage you to play with your options. Like, just see what anything does. I like to go up, down, and side. So this gives me like a nostalgic vibe. But I don't really want nostalgic, I want like warm. So whatever brings out warm tones. Accept it. Okay. I don't really want to adjust anything in green because there's nothing happening. That's what I talked about. So take out some blues, then you start see yellow popping, but I'm just gonna make it subtle as possible. Okay, just like that. It's too much. Maybe that, yeah. Okay, let's leave it like that. Now, split tuning. Let's keep this to 15 and then go through the different colors. Like that. So, shadow would be a lot stronger because there's a lot of contrast in this image. Before, after. Alright, so next I dig in that, so I'm gonna leave that like that. Next, what I like to do is go in luminance, and this helps me bring out any type of highlights that I want to adjust in colors. You want to be careful like adjusting it too high because it tends to like show the photo off a bit, so use it with moderation. These are the hues. This 5 would do good. Saturation, I don't need to adjust saturation right now, that's the last thing I want to do. So let me see how the greens look. So let's keep that green up, adjust it from here, and then luminance will bring it down. Kinda like that shit. So before, after, before, after. Yeah, I think I'm about to leave that green like that. Okay, this is what you need to look out for. You see this? This would be caused by the luminance. So what I can do, let's put everything back how it was. What I can do to fix this is to sample the aquas. Yeah. So let's bring them up. And try to match it so it blends in with the color. Alright, let's go back. Alright. Good luck with that. Here we have the blues. I like it. Then I don't really want a lot of it, so I could tone it down if I want. So let's leave it to 72. Let's play with the lighting from it. Let's keep that to 20. So here's your before and here's the after. Alright, so next is calibration. Before, after. I'll leave that to 14. I'll set all these to 14 actually. Great. Okay. Honestly, that's me right there. I don't need to do anything else to this. I'm gonna click OK. This about to look so crazy, y'all. It damn look crazy, and this is only camera raw, so yeah, that's dope. What I'm gonna do, let me save this because Photoshop tends to like freak out sometimes, you know. Did I not click save? What's happening, man? You just speed this up. Okay, so after that, keep in mind though, if your Photoshop is crashed a lot, better be saving like every second or so, just to be dramatic, because I had some experiences that made me cry. Like halfway into a photo like this, looks crazy. This looks really good, like alright, so next what I usually do after it's saved, I have a filter program application. It's called Color Effect Pro. Click on that, and then we'll go through some filters to see what actually makes it look a lot more better. Right, so this is the tool that I use the most in this application. What it does, it focuses the light more on whatever you want it to. So like that is what I'll use it for. So here's the before. You can see like she's dark and everywhere else around is light, but what it does is even it up. So we have that specific light on her, but I don't want it to affect this much, so I'll use this tool to like take away its effect from these areas, because I want this to be seen. So here's the before and here's the after. I'm gonna leave that like that. Leave that like that. Next, I like the cross processing tool in this application. This is my favorite. Change the opacity to 17. Let's keep that to 5. Let's keep that to 5. Next, there's another tool named Photo Stylizer. And number 3, is it number 3? Yeah, number 3 is what I use the most, but with the opacity to the bare minimum. So, like 5. And I'm good. Next, I like to use the dark contrast. I love contrast. If you guys see my photos, for those who don't know my Instagram, it's Delton_B. I love contrast, so I feel like it's a blessing. Contrast is life and light. They both work hand in hand, but I'm becoming a master of using contrast. So bring this down, bring the details down, set my saturation to 0, my contrast is 0, and my brightness is 0, and from there I can adjust it accordingly. So let's take away contrast, keep it to -50 saturation. I don't want to fool with that. Brightness, maybe a little brightness can help, gives it a angelic feel. Yeah, it does. So let's see how much details we want to bring out of this. So zoom in. Like that. 27. I like 27. Let's go with 27. And that's it. Before, after, before, after. Then we're gonna click OK. So there's a final thing I usually do before saving my images, and that's sharpening it up and adding a little bit of crisp to it. So let me show you guys how I do that. It's pretty simple. Just sharpen it up, but let me show you how now. Let's wait for this to save. That's it. Let's save it. When it's all done, I'm going to show you all the before and after from the raw image to this image. So what I'm gonna do now is press, after it's done saving, I'm gonna press Command J and it's gonna duplicate this layer like so. So we have a copy. Next, we're gonna go back into Camera Raw. And in Camera Raw, I'm gonna go to Sharpen and I'm gonna put this to 27. Next, I'm gonna zoom in and adjust my luminance to like the most subtle effect. I don't want it to be like where it's noticeable. So 5 is good. And then from there, I might want to put like a little bit of light in her face. So we'll go to adjustment tool. Let's turn up the exposure. Boom. Like so. Next, I want to see before and after. And that's it. Click OK. That's how you do it, guys. And that's how I edit photos. Pretty simple. You basically could do anything in Camera Raw once you adjust accordingly to whatever effect you want to achieve. So that's my process. There's many other ways I edit, but for this specific photo and this specific look, this is the kind of like edit I would give it. You know, there's no like preset I would use when it comes to editing my photos. It's just one whatever you call it. So let's just go with this. I'm gonna save this one more time. After I'm done saving this as a Photoshop file, I'll save this as a JPEG file and I'm done. So let me show you guys the ones I edited before this. So this was, wait, This one is the final image, and this is the raw. Okay. This one is the raw, and this one is the final image. This is the raw, this is the final image. I don't know if you can tell, it has like a film kind of effect. I wanted to give it like this nostalgia type vibe, so if you know, you know. Next, there's this one, the same as this one, but it's like more, there's more light. This one was during golden hour, this one was during like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock ish. So here's the before and here's the after. Before, after. And then here's the one we just edited. So there's a lot more to go. I'll try to get those ones on screen recording too, so you guys can see how I edit the full batch. But thanks for watching. Tell your friends who into these type of stuff, photographers, your mommy, your daddy, your uncle, your cousin, your granny, your aunt, whoever. Appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for more. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thanks.